Hey, this is CrossFitTracking.com for a CrossFit review for the Garmin Venu that just came out about a month ago. I've been using it continually for the last month and have a few different things to overview and highlight about its functional usage with CrossFit workouts. First, from just the overall fit functionality for a workout, I find it to be, a perfect, shape. The buttons don't get to be a problem. I used it with Open 20.1 and 20.2 and found that wrist straps didn't cause any kind of issues. It's easy to deal with there. Another thing that's really easy benefit functionally for a workout is you can easily link it to not just a Bluetooth heart rate monitor, but you can also link it to the old school Ant Plus heart rate monitor. And I still have like a $15 Garmin, Ant Plus version, and it works fantastic. Ease of use during a workout. It was really easy to scroll between screens, to highlight just the heart rate section, to scroll back to time, and it's very easy to lock it. So if you are doing a more wrist intense or have on hand reps, it's easy to lock the screen so that nothing gets pushed, the button doesn't get accidentally pressed to stop anything. That worked really well. From a workout evaluation standpoint, I have found the heart rate to be just okay. It didn't track, it tracked 20.1 fine, but some of the other basic workouts I've done in just doing an assault bike workout as well as 20.2, it just was not on the mark. I just found to be very inconsistent when compared to a chest strap. And then it doesn't evaluate the workout. It doesn't give you any kind of performance parameters as far as the overall exertion level. There's no training load. That's probably my biggest complaint with the Venu, is that it doesn't give you a workout output evaluation. So heart rate was just fair. I'd say it's better than any Garmin I've ever tested. For some reason, Garmin's optical sensors for me have always been problematic. I've always found them to be considerably off, sometimes just showing 90 beats a minute rather than the 160 that a chest strap was showing. But it's definitely better, but I wouldn't say it's on par for especially anything wrist-based in a CrossFit style workout. Recovery evaluation, it doesn't have any kind of estimate of time of how long you need to recover because of the exertion level of a workout. But one thing I really do like is the body battery. It tracks your stress overall throughout the day, so it gives you an estimate of what your internal resources may be. I found that to be helpful for knowing if you're prepared just physically to go into a workout that's going to have higher level exertion, or to work towards to get the body battery at a full level. That ties into stress, and it also ties into sleep. So that's the next thing to look at, is the sleep evaluation. I find it to be excellent. They don't do quite as good a job as Polar does with evaluating breathing into an estimate for the quality of sleep. And they don't give you a readout. They don't give you it does track. So within sleep, you're tracking heart rate variability, which is tracking stress, which is showing whether your body battery is increasing. So it does tie in there from just a both overall health standpoint, but it doesn't give you a sleep score or anything that has some sort of numeric value to it. You can see how much deep sleep. And they do a great job. They just introduced respiration tracking. So you'll track your average breaths per minute throughout your sleep for the night, and they'll track your pulse ox, like how much oxygen your blood was taking in on estimate for how you did for the night. Those are neat, but I don't know what they mean as far as useful information. So for right now, I do not care what my breathing has looked like. I don't care what the pulse ox looks like. It does a good job. At first, it wasn't tracking the pulse ox throughout the day, at least not very often. It's always looking for it, but not able to get a reading. But that's been updated. That seems to have gone better, but it doesn't have useful information. What does this tie in to the quality of my sleep, other than just the stress tracking, which relates to the body battery accumulation? Still, I love body battery. I just sort of follow that on a regular basis, just because I really want to know where I'm at overall health-wise. Durability of the watch overall, it's got a stainless steel bezel, so it has a nice weight to it, and it feels great. It feels like the perfect balance of having a hardy weight but not anything too heavy where you'd significantly notice it. It's got a bigger screen. I feel like because of the stainless steel, it wouldn't be a problem even if it got banged up. I don't think it would show significant marks. It's not like it's plastic that's going to take on a scratch more easily, but it does have a rounded glass screen, which obviously could easily get hit. So screen protectors are crucial, but it does have a sturdy feel. Special features for CrossFit. There's apps are being developed, or developers are trying to put out something, but there's still not anything specific to CrossFit. There's not a CrossFit exercise option that has anything related to that, and that's pretty universal across most functions. Whoop's got a CrossFit dedicated. Polars, and Suunto actually both have CrossFit dedicated, at least app workout titling. So you could take a generic workout and title it CrossFit and design your own things. That probably goes into but there's nothing specific for CrossFit. The overall smartwatch capabilities and pluses in that area, I have found, so this is the AMOLED screen. So it's one of the very few true sports fitness watches that actually has a bright and beautiful screen. I have found it to be excellent. I used Polar Ignite for a long time, and it was good because I really want readability on a screen. I didn't like and haven't liked the Garmin screens because they just have sort of a dim view. They last a long time. That's great, but I found this to be good for a couple of reasons. One, it's brilliant and bright and vivid. So the colors are all excellent, which you don't get on many. You can change the watch faces, which you can't do on the Polars. And it has great battery life for an AMOLED screen. So I've been burning about 30% of battery a day with one workout a day. And so 3 days of battery life with it always on. I've always used always on. I don't want to have it go dim and have to lift I want to be able to sort of glance and see. So battery life has been great. And then the recharge time is faster than the others that are out there. So it'll recharge from 0 to 100 in about an hour and 15, hour and 17 minutes. So if you just use 30% in a day, it takes about, whatever that is, 30 minutes to charge back up to 100%. So other minor items about it is a smartwatch. I feel like it handles smartwatch basics really well. It does, the screen being great, but you can also scroll through the basic pages and widgets to be able to see things. But I just like the notifications. I think the notification delivery is great because it just sort of pops up. You don't have to lift your wrist. It pops up and stays up for a minute. You can change that in the settings, but I just like that the text is going to sit there for a little bit if I'm working on something, but then I want to glance down without having to get my phone. The text is still there. It doesn't disappear right away. And you don't have to lift your wrist to get the text to appear. So the wrist feature where you go from always on dimmer watch face setting to seeing the full screen, that one's been pretty great. The gesture works really well. Garmin did a great job. It's the first ever introduced AMOLED screen that they've done, that the wrist gesture is spot on. Polar's Ignite has like a 2-second delay. It doesn't always work. It's a little bit more problematic, maybe not as sensitive enough. But overall usage for all the other things you can see in the general review, I would say this would be an awesome option for CrossFit tracking. Having a great screen and all the functional power that Garmin brings, if they had included the power outfit, so the training status, training effect. So the training effect, which would measure your anaerobic output and your aerobic output for the workout itself, and your training status, which measures your load over a period of time. And then with First Beat, that would come the recovery advisor, which would give you how much time you should probably take to recover depending on the load or the difficulty of the workout. That would make this awesome. It would be like a perfect match, but at $399, I feel like it's a little too pricey to not include that, although I do love it. It just doesn't help with more intense training schedules. So that's sort of a deal breaker, and you have to use some other device to be able to measure the load over a period of time to see how your training's doing. So that just sort of is a difficult bit for me, but I've loved it overall with their new design, the AMOLED screen, the functional aspects of the new OS that obviously is on the Vivo Active 4 as well. But again, Garmin Venu, this is CrossFitTracking.com.